Having high self-esteem is directly correlated to being happier, being more creative, to doing better in school, to getting along better with others, to expressing creativity, and in general, just having a happier life. Unfortunately, many people do not have high self-esteem. And just because somebody seems as if they're very confident and well put together doesn't mean they're not struggling with issues of low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is often deep-rooted in our past. How our parents or individuals that we respected dealt with us or spoke with us, as well as influences by the media. Our self-worth is often under attack in movies and music and media and otherwise areas that are constantly telling us that we're not quite good enough, not quite pretty enough, that we can be or look a certain way that's idealistic or photoshopped, and things that we can never actually achieve. And then there's the people who mean well, but say things that ultimately undermine our self-esteem. For example, oh, you'll never be able to achieve that, or why don't you aim for something that's more realistic for you? They think they mean well and they're trying to just help us set realistic expectations, when in fact they're undermining our self-esteem. Now there's a few different ways that we as mentors can really help build the self-esteem of our mentee. Be a friend. Sometimes we feel so bad about ourselves we really can't imagine that anybody really wants to be our friend. The friendships that we have, we may feel to be superficial, or that we have to act a certain way that's not truly ourselves just so that people accept us. When we're a friend to the mentee, and they really feel that we genuinely like them for who they are, this is very empowering in helping build that self-esteem. After all, if you, the mentor, somebody that I look up to and respect, likes me and wants to be my friend, then there must be something good in me. Expecting the best. The reality is we tend to rise or sink to the level of expectation of those around us. There was a famous study done years ago where they took an average second grade class and they divided them into two halves at random. Then they brought two teachers in from outside the district and assigned them to those two classes. They told one teacher that her students had been pulled from all over the district and were the very brightest and best of students. They told the other teacher that her students were pulled from all over the district as the worst students, the ones that were the most trouble and were on the verge of being assigned to some other disciplinary sort of school. And then they let those teachers teach out the year. At the end of the year, they asked the first teacher how her teaching experience was. She said that was the best class that she had ever taught in her life. That those students were brilliant, they were creative, they were engaging, and it was just a phenomenal teaching experience, and the students were phenomenal. The other teacher, when asked, said that that was the worst teaching experience of her life. That the kids were all troublemakers, that many of them barely passed, that they were always causing a ruckus, that they weren't learning and they were destructive, and it was absolutely the worst teaching experience ever. The only difference, again, between those classes was the expectation that the teacher had going into the class. It was a random class, randomly divided, no difference whatsoever in the students. It was purely the expectation of the teacher. When we expect the best from our mentees, they tend to rise to that expectation because, again, they see in us a valuing of them, an expectation that they can excel and do well, and then they start to believe that themselves, and that raises their self-worth and their self-esteem. Trust them with responsibility. This is an area where, again, they see how we believe in them. We start off with little, small responsibilities and let them build up. Let them start to feel some successes in their life. Perhaps they feel that they've been a failure at everything or they can't do anything right. When we trust them with responsibility and then see them succeed and give them some praise, these are things that help build their self-esteem. Never give up on them. Oftentimes we may have low self-esteem or low self-worth because we feel that we try, but perhaps time and again people have told us that we're worthless, you're no good, you always fail, you can't do anything right. And so we're just used to people giving up on us, and it just becomes a matter of time where I know that Even if I have some successes, I'm going to make a mess of things and you're just going to give up and walk away on me. So we never want to give up on them and let them know that we're always going to be there to encourage, to build, and that we, again, have that good expectation of them. And finally, that we demonstrate positive self-esteem. That we let them see in us that even though we know we have shortcomings and failures and that we don't always get everything right, we still have that positive self-esteem. We think well of ourselves. We have a good expectation of ourselves. That we look at things from a positive angle and direction, and that we share that with them so that they can see in us how positive self-esteem and solid self-worth looks like.